Assembly Speaker Robin Vos and Minority Leader Greta Neubauer announced a bill today aimed at helping fund WisconsinEye. Neubauer said lawmakers have had bipartisan discussions about a bill that would give partial funding for the nonprofit organization. WisconsinEye had streamed government proceedings for nearly 2 decades before going offline last month.
We do want to ensure that there's access to everything going on in the Capitol. We hope that they will continue to increase their offerings as we move forward in terms of covering more hearings and committees. But this is a really good start. It's very important for the public to have access, and so we're optimistic that we're going to reach a bipartisan solution here soon.
Neubauer said a tentative agreement was reached and a bill will be introduced in the Assembly with the hopes that the Senate takes up the bill quickly. In the agreement, WisconsinEye would do fundraising and include an endowment to fund the majority of the organization's operations each year.